Hi there, the Summer Games Fest just happened, and there were quite a few conferences to watch, and a whole lot of new games were revealed. But who has the time to watch all of these conferences? Me. I do. So I'm going to save you some time. Today we'll be looking at all the games I think are worth keeping an eye on in the future, as well as some of the problematic ones I think you should avoid. So here's how the video is going to work. Game name is going to go down here, whether I think it's worth checking it out for yourself, down here. We'll be going conference by conference. At the end of each one, I'll be rating their performance based on the show that they put out. At the end of the video, I'll break down my favourite games from the Wholesome Games Fest, and what you should absolutely be looking at in the future. Now, something I noticed is that a few games get shown multiple times throughout the conferences. If a game gets shown twice or more, I'll just talk about the whole thing when it's the most relevant. Timecodes will be below, so you can jump to what you want to see. Let's do it. Starting off with the Sony conference, which was a couple of weeks ago now. I'm sure you've heard everything you need to hear about this one, so I'm going to try and knock these ones out real quick. First off, we've got Spider-Man 2. Looks good. Insomniac Studios make great games. This trailer makes me believe that Spider-Man 2 is just going to be as good as the first, if not better. Bungie decided to revive their long-dead IP Marathon. It's going to be a PvPvE extraction shooter. This looks like it's going to be the genre that's going to flood the market over the next couple of years, just like Battle Royales before it. I'm not that worried though, because Bungie knows how to do a live service game, and they know how to do multiplayer well. The thing I worry about with these kinds of games is the extreme amount of cheating that usually goes on. The trailer was pretty freaking hype though. Justice is just an all-round good music choice for anything. Seriously, if I ever make a movie or TV show, I would absolutely use Civilization as the trailer song. Absolute banger. Fair Games looks supposedly a modern take on the heist genre. The trailer doesn't really show us enough. I'd wait to see some gameplay on this one, especially because Payday 3 is just around the corner and there are already pros in the heisting game. Helldivers 2 looked pretty good. I never played the first game, but I know someone who did, and he played a lot, so I asked him what he thought of the trailer. Like, all hype aside, the humour and vibe was spot on to the original, which was hilarious. I think the transition to 3D is going to lose some of its unique charm. Like, what got me into it initially was the top-down twin-stick team-based play, which was pretty good, but I'm hyped as fuck for it to come out. I just hope that it being 3D doesn't make it the same as every other Horde-style shooter. From what I saw in the trailer, the game definitely draws its similarities to the Starship Troopers game, and to be perfectly honest, it looks better than the Starship Troopers game. Hell, the trailer even does Starship Troopers better than the Starship Troopers game, which is pretty wild. Ghost Runner 2 looks good, fast shooty, slicey, doing it again. If you like the first, you'll like the second, I reckon. Phantom Blade Zero also looks really good. I'm digging the art style and setting here. The gameplay looks a little off, and I can't quite put my finger on why. Sword of the Sea obviously looks amazing. Can't wait for this one. From the creators of Gree, we have Never. I imagine this is going to be very similar to Gree. Please stop trying to make me cry though. Alright, everyone's already memed foam styles to death. The less I talk about this one, the better. Let's just move on. Plucky Squire looks fun. I get the weirdest sense of deja vu looking at this game. I feel like I see a game reveal like this every couple of years and then I just never hear from them again. It's weird. Konami are remaking Metal Gear 3. I just don't trust this one. Konami is a shitty company. The fact that there's no studios apart from Konami attached to this makes it feel even weirder. Like, something's not right here. We'll wait to see more on this one, but for now, no. Towers of Agaspa looks decent. I'm hoping the scale of the game lives up to what's being shown in the trailer though. Alan Wake is a game that has been on my backlog for over a decade. Now there's going to be a second one. But they showed a gameplay trailer later on in the main Summer Games Fest conference, and that made it look a little less good. There's a new Assassin's Creed. I'm sure it'll be just as good or just as bad as all the other ones. I just don't care. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink looks like a pretty stock standard RPG. I'm sure someone out there is really excited for this one. PlayStation did a VR segment, not into VR, so none of this was particularly interesting to me, so I'm just going to skip. And on that note, I'll probably be skipping any other VR stuff that's shown in the future. I'm not a Destiny guy, but Destiny is doing more Destiny things, and people are pretty hype about this trailer, so if you're into Destiny, go for that one. I have no freaking clue what Concord is. All I know is that I really want to eat this burger. After looking this one up, it's apparently it's a multiplayer first-person shooter. Who would have known from looking at this? And last up, we have a trailer for a Gran Turismo movie, directed by the guy who did one really good movie, one alright movie, and two pretty terrible movies. This one looks alright. I'd be inclined to make fun of the concept of a gamer turned professional racer plot point if it wasn't based on something that they actually did, and it's something that actually happened. I mean, it still looks about as creatively bankrupt as anything else Sony Studios has been putting out, so Overall, the Sony Showcase, not the greatest. Sony has been killing it with their premium single-player experiences over the past few years, and the fact that there wasn't much of that in there, it worries me a little. The only big reveal we didn't know was coming was Metal Gear. I'm hugely skeptical about that one. The big standouts of the show though were Spider-Man, obviously, Helldivers 2, and Sword of the Sea. Marathon had a cool trailer, same with Concord, but we didn't see anything. I'll definitely be taking points away for foam stars though, like come on, you can't show that. Overall, I give the Sony show a B. I feel like we could have used a bit more gameplay. A bit too much CGI, nothing trailers, but the conference was really short and there wasn't too much fluff in there, so it went by very quickly. It's the Summer Games Fest main event. It's Jeff Keighley time. To start off, we got a Prince of Persia game. Not the one everyone's been asking for, but I guess we got one. It looks like a solid 2D platformer, to be honest. Mortal Kombat 1 looks really good. Actually, every new gen fighter game looks to be stepping it up. From Street Fighter 6 to Tekken 8 to this. Like, I'm not a big fighting game guy, but these make me want to be one. Path of Exile 2 showed up with 30 seconds of someone playing a sorceress or something. It looked really bland. We saw a bit more later on in a different show. I don't know what to say. It looks like an ARPG. It doesn't look like anything special. A couple of weeks ago, Nicolas Cage showed up in a Dead by Daylight trailer, and nobody knew if he was going to be the killer or a survivor. But then he actually showed up at the Summer Games Fest, and honestly, I was just kind of hoping he'd host the show from there on. The gameplay trailer that was shown looks pretty ass, but Dead by Daylight is a fun game. I was kind of swayed by the fact that Nicolas Cage actually looks really excited doing this, but good on you, Nick. We got a small look at Witchfire. Looks alright, looks pretty solid. Next up was Remnant 2. The first Remnant game was absolutely slept on. Please check this one out. Remnant 2 looks really, really good. One of the most bipolar game franchises back in 2D again. I swear they make a big deal every time Sonic returns to 2D. It looks like it could be fun. It's just a bit visually noisy, which might become a bit of a problem when you gotta go fast. There is no quicker way to get me more unexcited for a game than to tell me it was inspired by Pinocchio. But damn, Liza P's art style has me very excited. A game inspired by the manga that Akira Toriyama did. That isn't Dragon Ball is getting a game. The game looks okay, but I'm not interested. Throne and Liberty had the balls to show up after their disastrous beta the other week. Players wanted? Yeah, fucking bet. Warhaven looks like a pretty fun multiplayer game. I definitely think this is one to check out. Looks like there's going to be a demo or a multiplayer beta available soon. I'm really hoping this scratches like that Chivalry itch. I mean, it doesn't look that much like Chivalry. It looks a bit more like those custom TF2 games that people would play. Ugh. A live service Crash Bandicoot game? Really? Like, I know this was revealed a while ago, but like, come on. It looks fun, but I just don't see it having any lasting power. There's too many live service games. They should at least make it free to play and bring it to PC. I'm a huge Crash fan. I'm not going to be dusting off my PS4 to play this, which breaks my heart. Warhammer Space Marine was a game I never thought would get a sequel, but I'm glad that it is. This one looks pretty baller. I looked up when the first Warhammer Space Marine game came out, and it was 12 years ago. God, I'm starting to feel old. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. It looks interesting. I actually wonder how involved John Carpenter actually is. Like, is this a George R.R. Martin helping write Elden Ring kind of thing? Or did they just go to John Carpenter and he just like tore 5 pages out of his notebook and was like, here you go, you can do something with this. I wasn't going to. You'd imagine it was probably a bit more than that, considering his name's on the title, but, you know, Tom Clancy's been dead for like 10 years. Power World looks okay. It's being described as Pokemon with guns, and I just wonder if the game will still be fun after the novelty of Pokemon with guns wears off. Black Desert Online was an MMO that was way too dense for me to get into. It is still probably one of the most visually pleasing MMOs to date. I'm sure all the people who still use this game to argue about politics in the server chat, they're gonna like this. This dwarf game looks like it could be fuck. It's a Lord of the Rings game. I think I'm like most people. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I love the PS2 game and Shadows of Mordor, but I just can't bring myself to care past that point with Lord of the Rings. I feel like I would be more into this game if it wasn't a Lord of the Rings game. Oh cool, a Final Fantasy VII mobile gacha game. No fucking thank you. Oh, we gotta look at the new Yakuza game, or Like a Dragon game. Or, I don't know, what's this one called? Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. This franchise is fantastic. When this was announced, I wasn't sure if this one was going to be turn-based or brawler. I would have been happy if this game was in either styles, to be honest. Another Kiryu brawler though, let's fucking go. Under the Waves, it looks pretty nice. That is one ugly looking Xbox, oh my god. Bay Farm is another farming game in the same kind of vein as Stardew Valley. I don't know, man. These games all look the same to me. Am I crazy? I feel like it needs a bit more to convince me to play it. Bay Farm, it just doesn't look like it's doing anything different enough or better than Stardew, which is unfortunate. King Arthur Legends Rise looks like a shitty mobile game, and I looked it up and it's a shitty mobile gacha game. God damn it. Wayfinder. This game is made by the same people who did The Ruined King, which is a pretty great game. We got some gameplay later on in OTK. It's safe to say I think I'll be checking this one out. The Twisted Metal show is a thing that I keep getting reminded of. Nothing I've been shown so far looks good. It might be dumb fun, which honestly is probably all the Twisted Metal show needs to be, but so far it's no. This Fanga has a pretty cool premise. Like, I'm sold. Immortals of Avium. This one looks, The set piece they showed off looked cool, but everything else they showed off, the gameplay just doesn't look that great. The main character's just got that generic look and feel to him. Apparently he can harness the power of all 3 Mass Effect endings. That's cool, I guess. Alright, visually it looks good, but it just seems like it's going to be a bland package overall. I hope I'm wrong about this though. I like to see more games embrace like wild set pieces, like when you're fighting on top of a mech in the middle of the ocean. Fortnite threw us a very lackluster trailer. Epic probably thinks that all they need to do is throw us a new IP and everyone will hype it to shit. It's just not surprising anymore. Like, Optimus Prime is cool, but it was an eventuality. Part 2 of the Final Fantasy remake is coming. Looks good. I didn't play the first one, but I heard it was good. This one looks just as good. Alright, we've made it to the end of Jeff Fest, and I am very mixed on this conference. There was some really good, but there was some really bad. So let's start with the good. Mortal Kombat, Witch Haven, Lies of P, Lisfunga, Space Marine 2 and Remnant 2 all look really great. And actually showing gameplay of your games, that's a good sign. It's a better indication of should I be excited for a game. Alright, let's get to the bad. The bad is really bad. Fortnite. I know it's easy and cool to dunk on Fortnite at the moment, but here's the thing. Fortnite is genuinely a fun game. It just feels like they're on cash machine autopilot. And while we're on that topic, shitty mobile gacha games. We got 3 trailers. We got one for Honkai Star Rail. That's an okay game. The story and characters keep that one really fun and engaging. There was the Final Fantasy one. Looks like it could be okay as hell. And then there's the King Arthur game. This one's existence kind of baffles me. I don't know anyone who would want to play a King Arthur game, let alone that one. But the problem is all of these games, they just have extremely predatory shops and pay to progress and pay to win elements in them, and they're just designed to take your money in a gambling-like environment. And I just really hate this shit. Next in the bad, we have that MMO whose name I forget. Look, Thrones and Liberty recently went into a technical beta where it was almost universally hated. I don't know if they're working on that. I don't trust this game. I definitely don't trust NCSoft. If this game doesn't do well, it's going to get canned and you're never going to see it again. Which might be for the better, but for a lot of the time, it's for the worse. Just steer clear of this. Overall, I give the main event a B-, I think. Maybe a C+. It definitely would have been higher if they let Nick Cage host. The thing that keeps the grade so high is that they did show gameplay of a lot of these trailers, and the good was really, really good. I don't want to undersell how good some of these games look. It's time to get into the indie of it all. We have Day of the Devs. This conference was more of an in-depth look at some of the up-and-coming indie titles, so I wasn't expecting much going into this one. So first up we have Pokemon, but volleyball. Interesting take. I like the idea of the buddy relationship system between your team. I'm just hoping that there's a little bit more to the game that wasn't shown here, like a couple of extra systems or something maybe. Next up we have Hyperlight Breaker, and I'm wondering why the show didn't start with this. Come on, I've been a fan of Heart Machine since Hyperlight Drifter, which back in the day I donated to its Kickstarter, and it's the only Kickstarter I have ever backed. I have loved both of the games that this studio has put out so far, and I just have no doubt that Hyperlight Breaker isn't just going to kick some serious ass. Simpler Times looks exactly as advertised. It's not my cup of tea, but if it's yours, I'm sure you're going to be getting a relaxing yet meaningful experience out of it. Can't help but think that maybe this should have been a VR title though. Viewfinder looks really cool. I've been seeing this one advertised everywhere on social media for ages. It's got a really cool gimmick to it. I like it. Haunty's visuals look great and super unique. I'm definitely putting this one on my list. Quebblecop was a person I had completely forgotten existed. Hellscape looks kind of cool, but because I see Quebblecop attached to it, I get a bit wary of it. Halfhead Henry, despite having a really cool name, is a no from me. Cocoon, on the other hand, is an absolute yes from me. Eti, it's a maybe. Summerhill looks beautiful, but looking at this you wouldn't believe it's a game about sheep herding. And that was quick. Day of the Devs was pretty neat. I wasn't expecting any big reveals or anything. There were some nice little surprises here and there. The obvious standouts were Viewfinder, Haunty, Cocoon, and Hyper Lightbreaker. I'm deducting points for not just riding a little bit of a tighter ship on the whole thing, and I also wanted to see some more experimental things in there. I give the Day of the Devs a B. I like having indie devs talk about their games, and you can really see the heart and soul they put into their work. Devolver is next with one of their infamous showcases. They decided to play most of their trailers before the showcase, and if you're familiar with the Devolver Showcase, you'll know why. We started off with the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, which is a strange name, but I really liked the look of this one. I don't exactly know what it is, apart from having something to do with fortune telling and demons. I'm gonna be checking this one out, I reckon. Sludge Life 2 is I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I feel like it's strange that I haven't heard of this game. So I did some research, and the reason why I probably haven't heard of the first game is due to it being banned in Australia. Wow. Karma Zoo is a game you should definitely put on your radar. That is all. I still haven't seen enough of this Hellboy game to be able to recommend it. In the middle of the Devolver chaos, we got a beautifully animated trailer for Wizard with a Gun. And wow, this looks fantastic. We also got another trailer for Talos Principle 2. I didn't play the first game, even though it was plastered everywhere on the Steam homepage for like 5 years. I wasn't sold on the first trailer we got in the PlayStation Showcase, but the gameplay trailer here does a better job of showing us what we're in for, and it looks alright. Next up, we have a difficult movement game called Baby Steps from the guys who did Bennett Foddy. I feel like I'm being personally attacked here. Look, this isn't really my thing, but if there's like a lot of character interactions like the one we had in the trailer, I think I'd probably give it a go. Also, I'm pretty sure I heard Jason Bateman in the trailer somewhere. More of that, please. And lastly, we have the reveal of Human Fall Flat 2. I am very excited. I think I have like something like 60 hours played on the first game, so, you know, sign me the fuck up. Devolver went for quality over quantity as usual, and their insane showcase was just as batshit as usual. Love it. Devolver gets an A. Great job as always. Let's move on. I do not know what a Tribeca is. They have a showcase, so let's take a look. Starting off with Highland Song. This game actually looks really charming. The music and art style are really gelling with me here. Goodbye Volcano High, not for me. The concept sounds a little bit too depressing. The art looks really great for a visual novel though, so I'll give it props for that. Chants of Sonar looks like a little interesting puzzle game. Not much to say, but I'm digging what I'm seeing. Nightscape is a no from me. The art looks okay, but the gameplay looks super rough. Stray Gods. This one showed up a couple of times over the conferences, and based on the live chat, people aren't liking this. But, you know, the live chat wasn't liking anything, to be honest. So I'll say Stray Gods will probably live or die based on how good the music is. I do like the fact that there are branching dialogue paths in a musical that changes the music as it goes. It's a very interesting concept, but I can't help but feel that the music may suffer because of it. Writing good music is hard, and if you have to write a lot of it, I worry the quality of the overall experience might suffer. I still think I might keep an eye out on this one though. The Expanse has a video game. I never watched the show. This just looks like another Telltale game. If you were to ask my opinion, you've seen one, you've seen them all. The Telltale formula got really stale long ago, and the writing they showed off was just really, really awful. So skip. Despelote. Looks like a bit of a nightmare. If you listen to the lead developer talk about his love of soccer and how it inspired him to make the game, it's actually kind of sweet. Overall, I give Tribeca a C-. I wasn't overly interested in what I saw, but that being said, I do wish these developers the best in their endeavours. All these devs look like they're making the games that they want to make, but that does mean that they're going to be catering to a more niche audience. So Tribeca overall was very, very indie, and that's okay. Alright, we've got Wholesome Indie. There's like 80 games in the spotlight, so we're just going to try and get through these as quick as we can. Let's go. Minico's Night Market. Yeah, alright. Next up we have some team-making game with cats. I'm not a cat guy. The aesthetic is nice. Can I have a dog version, please? Button City Soccer Days looks cute as hell. So does this frog game. Caterpillar game. Sweet. Moonstone looks like another one of those farming sims I talked about earlier. Station to Station looks beautiful and cozy. Bunnies! Ooh, second frog game. Karmazoo again. No, seriously, you should play this one. Gordlets is another village/management sim game. Looks good. Smush Come Home looks cute. And oh shit, it's out. Nice. There are a lot of games in the showcase that are just animal based. It's been 18 years and someone finally decided to rip off Nintendogs. They even went as far as to copying the graphics from that era. While the Iron's Hot is looking alright, full of porcupine. also looks alright. Wood and Weather also seems alright. I don't know if Tall Trails looks good, but I'm interested. Pizza Possum looks like chaotic fun. I don't know what this is, but I'm down, I think. Toastable, yes. Wholesome Direct, well, it was as advertised. Nothing but wholesome games. There's nothing wrong with that. The big thing here is that there wasn't more variety. I saw way too many farming / social sims. And some of them were even put together in the showcase back to back, and I wasn't sure if I was looking at the same or a different game. Anyway, this one's felt like a bit of a slog to get through. It feels like the whole showcase was quantity over quality, which was the inverse of the Devolver one. But there are some gems in here, and you just need to look a bit harder. I gave this one a C-. Feels wrong to give it anything less because it's just an indie showcase of wholesome games. Alright, next up we have the OTK showcase, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I did not watch this conference. I didn't know what I was getting into with this one, and when I went to watch the VOD I saw it was 4 hours long, and I noped the fuck out of there. All props, the production value looked very good on this showcase, but I am not a fan of any of these Twitch streamers. I realised I was not going to have fun watching this one. So I decided to just find a list of all the trailers announced and just watch those instead. So I won't be grading this showcase like the others because I didn't watch it and I don't think it'd be fair. So starting off OTK, we have Atomic Picnic. It looks alright. The character animations look a little stiff, but I'm a sucker for co-op roguelikes though. Alien Hominid Invasion has been on my radar for a while. Behemoth is a developer that makes very good games. I love Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theatre, and I really like Pit People as well. Soul Walkers. This game doesn't look fun, but auto battlers are more fun to play than to watch. As someone who sinks way too many hours into TFT would know. If I were this developer, I'd be very careful that Riot just doesn't steal this idea off of them. Turnip Boy robs a bank. I didn't play Tax Fraud, it's on my backlog, I'll get to it eventually, but this looks pretty wild. Boaty Biteland. Yes, this ticks so many boxes for me, you don't understand. Slope Crashers is something I think I'd have to play to see if I like. Demon Spore looks intense and horrifying, love it. Elements? I'm on the fence about this one, couldn't say why. You know, I haven't really heard the term competitive PvE before, so whenever Core Heroes popped up, I had to take a closer look on that one. I'm sold on the premise, even if the gameplay shown doesn't look great. It's going to be free to play. There's a pay to enter beta going on right now with if you buy one of the Founders Packs, which is like, I'm very keen to check this one out when I can play it for free. And that's all for OTK. Let's move on. Next up we have Future Games. Starting off, Resistor. Oh damn, this is on my radar. Future Games decided to show this shitty looking dinosaur game, but then its trailer just like abruptly got cut off by like a space trucking game. I am so down to do some space trucking. Lords of the Fallen looks good, but Souls-likes aren't my thing. What the ever-loving fuck is this? What the hell is Rhythm Royale? Steel Seed looks visually great. The gameplay looks bland. Go Fight Fantastic looks to be an ARPG. Alaskan Road Truckers is a hard pass from me. The Bookwalker actually had a really cool looking trailer. And then I saw what the game looked like and was immediately disappointed. Life by You, oh my god, I forgot about this. Life by You looks like it was made by an AI that has only seen The Sims and Second Life. Even the marketing director who's showing off the game sounds like they're an AI. This is wild. Apparently the first 100k players who play the game get invited to a private Discord server. Like, I have not seen that before. Also, are you asshats really taking pre-order bonuses for a game launching into early access? Like, come on. This screams desperation. Leica looks great. Tell me you don't want to play this after seeing a fox doing a backflip on a motorbike while shooting some weird eldritch bird. Is it just me or does something look very off about this game? It's doing a Cuphead style, but the gameplay looks really dull and the animation looks really stilted. Moving Out was a fun game. I'm looking forward to number 2. Let's fucking go. Odenfall looks sweet. I love top-down shooters. This one looks pretty baller. SteamWorld looks like a pretty unique take on the city sim genre. Looks alright. I'm very intrigued by Dayman 1994, but none of the small amount of gameplay showed in the trailer really helped with that. Ruffy and the Riverside hurts my fucking eyes. This game is not as charming as it thinks it is, which is a shame because the ideas thrown around here are very interesting, but god damn, no. Next up we have Stick It to the Stick Man. This one came with a demo, I played a little bit of it. pretty great. Wrecker, the game with a chicken house, or house chicken, bird house, that might be it. The game really only showed the base building side of the game, which wasn't anything special, and then just some running through some landscapes. So I'm worried that there isn't actually a rest of the game for this one at the moment. Pacific Drive looks like a really fun game that I would definitely suck at. Cookie Cutter looks badass as hell, and that's the end of Future Games Show. Whoa, it gets a B. For the showcase itself, Yuri and Laura's chemistry was a bit of a disaster, but honestly the games shown were very solid. Next up we've got Xbox. Xbox started their showcase with the voice of Richard Awadi. Oh shit, his face too. Alright, Xbox gets an A+, let's move on to the PC Game Show. I'm joking. This is Fable, by the way, a game series I don't like. I might just try it because of this trailer. I don't know what South of Midnight is, but cool trailer. 33 Immortals has a pretty sweet premise. I once played this game called Steam Birds Alliance, and it was a little bit similar to this. That game's dead now, so I'm excited to see someone else take on the mass co-op idea again. With Xbox and the people who made Spiritfarer behind it, I don't think it'll die like that other game did, so I'm keen to give it a go. This woman said Starfield is going to be one of the most important RPGs of all time, although I guess if it flops, then Xbox is really fucked. Payday 3 decided to show up. I didn't see anything new here except for the graphical glow up. I kinda just want to know who's doing the soundtrack for the game this time around, because Payday 2's is like one of the best soundtracks of all time. Avowed looks good. Obsidian usually make really solid games. Grounded was the last one I played from them, and it's probably one of the best survival games ever. I definitely think I'll check this one out. Hellblade 2 still looks really good, and I still have no idea what's going on in these trailers. Yakuza 8 is here, or Like a Dragon 8. I still haven't fully adjusted to the franchise name change. Apparently called Infinite Wealth. If you have not played Yakuza 7, you should. I'm very excited to see Ichiban's story continue in America, which is pretty wild for a Yakuza game. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Did Bethesda seriously just show up with Fallout 76 again? No thank you. Realistic car driving game looks like a realistic car driving game. The YouTube bitrate really did this one dirty, but this game actually looks really good. Every now and then I'm reminded that Elder Scrolls Online is a thing and that it actually has a dedicated player base. Overwatch showed up? No fucking way. Way to throw the spotlight back on yourself, Blizzard, you absolute fucking clown show. Persona 5 Tactica looks like another really good Persona 5 spin-off. They decided to show a Starfield trailer before the Starfield Direct happened, so let's just talk about it now, I guess. I didn't watch the entirety of the Starfield Direct, but when I go into games, I like to go in as fresh as possible. But from this trailer, it looks good. I've been seeing the buzz about it online, and people are pretty hyped for this game. I really hope it does live up to the hype, and I probably will give this one a try. Have you ever wanted to play a game that was just the climbing in Assassin's Creed? Well, Jasant is here for you. Oh, look, it's Keanu Reeves. Alright, I have a confession to make. I really liked Cyberpunk 2077 on launch. Despite it being a buggy mess, the world and the writing still had me immersed, more than most other games can do. I like to think that I have like a really high standard when it comes to the quality of games and how they launch, but somehow Cyberpunk just managed to cut through that. I don't know how, but I'll definitely be playing this expansion, but I think the average consumer should probably wait and see on this one. City Skylines 2 is coming. No big surprise considering how well the first one did. I was kind of hoping for some multiplayer this time around, you know, neighboring cities, that kind of thing. Atlas really just wants to make anything but Persona 6, huh? Towerborn looks very Castle Crashers-esque, and honestly, I'm almost willing to try anything that's co-op and looks kind of fun. Clockwork Revolution has a very Bioshock Infinite feel to it, and that's probably by design. The game will probably just live or die on the time travel aspect of the game and how well that's implemented. Not much was really seen here though. Overall, I give the Xbox Showcase an A-. Why, you might be thinking? The conference was probably on par, if not a little bit better than Sony's, but unlike any of the other games shown in the Summer Games Fest, I don't have to buy any of these games. Every game here said it was going to be coming out day one on Xbox Game Pass, so anything I'm unsure of, I don't have to risk money trying. So what I want to do is pull up every game shown from the showcase that I want to play, or I'm a little bit on the fence about, and I'll add up how much it would theoretically cost to buy them all, versus how much it would cost till, let's say till the end of 2024 of Game Pass. So that's 18 months. Some of these games don't have prices yet, so I'll just make some conservative estimates. Just remember, I'm calculating this in Australian dollars. A $60 to $70 game in America costs us like $90 to $110 in Australia, so keep that in mind. So overall, if I were to buy these games individually, it'd cost me around $850. Wow. and for PC Game Pass it'd be $197. Now these estimates are assuming that I don't cancel my Game Pass for a couple of months if there's like a drought of games. Now I know I don't own the games that I play on Game Pass. They go away if I stop playing or their licensing deals may run out. But there's only 2 games on this list that I think I would actually just want to buy outright. So let's take those off the list and add it to my Game Pass. I would still be paying double if I bought all of these games outright. Not that I would buy all of these games outright, but that's what it would cost if I wanted to play them all without Game Pass. Alright, enough raving about Game Pass. Obviously Microsoft gets points taken away for the god-awful Overwatch stuff. Blizzard really should have just used that slot to tease further Diablo content. And I had forgotten Fallout 76 existed, and I was happy living in that world. Until today. Welcome to the PC Gaming Show, a show that when E3 actually existed, people usually skipped, mostly because everyone wanted to go to bed. Look, it isn't usually as exciting as the main events, or as cringy as the secondary ones that used to be put on by Ubisoft. So let's just see what's new for PC. Alright, the dynamic duo of Frankie and Day9 is back, and this is a fucking nightmare. Starting off with Frostpunk 2, the sequel to the very popular Frostpunk 1. It's a nice CGI trailer. Like many sequels, I'm sure if you liked this first, you'll like this. The violence is a bit late to the cyberpunk genre, but it looks pretty beautiful all the same. Road to Vostok looks like a single-player Tarkov/Stalker type game. It's piqued my interest. Oh my god, why haven't it shown up like 3 times now? And each time I see it, I just want to play it more. Sulphur looks meh. The game looks a bit unfinished. The trailer didn't do this game any justice, especially by emphasizing what looks to be a very boring crafting system, and one of those anxiety-inducing grid inventory systems that seems to be creeping its way back into gaming. Sailblazers looks to do the shopkeeping genre a bit differently by introducing multiplayer co-op. It looks pretty fun. This MMO looks like one of those Unreal Asset flip games. The way the developers talk about the game makes it sound very ambitious, but it looks way too early to show off, or even talk about. Stampede Racing Royale is a 60-player kart racer that looks like it's taking a lot from Crash Team Racing, and a little bit of Mario Kart. My question is, how do you do this without it being a laggy clusterfuck? I'm very interested to try it at the very least. Ferocious looks like Far Cry with dinosaurs. Actually, this might have been that dinosaur game from before. Look, nothing too exciting is shown here, but I do want to keep an eye on it. Oh my god, is this another one of those games where you walk around these like magnificent looking landscapes and then you just stare at a box and do a puzzle every 5 minutes? The trailer makes the game look alright though, I guess, and multiplayer puts a nice spin on things. This dungeon manager game, it looks okay. The actor doing the voiceover, he's doing his best Will Arnett impression. I don't think he's doing a very good job. This Warhammer RTS looks pretty cool. Critic Grove doesn't look like it's doing anything new, but it looks nice, so it has that going for it, I guess. Jesus, I can't imagine how much it would cost to own a studio in Brooklyn. Hidden Door is being shown here, and it's actually very interesting. The ability to play a tabletop game within different worlds is a great idea, and getting AI to generate the story and be the game's narrator and game director is a use for AI that doesn't immediately make me want to hurl. I am skeptical though. I feel AI quite isn't there yet, and I don't know if it's good enough to tell meaningful stories that people will latch onto. I'm putting it on my list of things to keep an eye out for though. It was kind of weird to showcase a game like this while the entire conference around it is just memeing on the use of AI and how shit it is. Undead Inc. had a really cool trailer, and then I looked it up, and it's a Fallout Shelter type game. And look, I don't mind that it is, but I mind that they tried to hide it. The Invincible looks like a very interesting story-based game, and it's got me sold. Park Beyond is the next game to take on the theme park building genre. Why should I play this game over Planet Coaster? Also, I'm a huge Pac-Man fan. Locking Pac-Man themed stuff behind a pre-order does not make me want to buy your game. It makes you look desperate, and holy shit, it gets worse. There's a fucking season pass. Yikes. Next. Pass of Cause looks like a bunch of fun. The trailer that they showed was very self-aware, and it was really a much needed breath of fresh air. Chimera, a sci-fi survival game based around surviving solar flares. The description of the game describes it better than the trailer does, and it's a base building survival game where you battle the planet's temperamental environment along with hordes of aliens. Interesting. RTS games, they're always more fun to play than to watch. I don't know why they need a big chunk of time to show this one. Pre-alpha and nothing here is new or exciting. Most of all, I think they just want people to know it exists. I've seen some pretty bad trailers over the past couple of days. I don't think this one's the worst, But man, everything from the cinematography to the voice acting to the incomprehensible story makes me not want to play this game. Baldur's Gate 3 got a really big segment in the PC gaming show. I really hope this game is as good as it looks. You know what, I thought Ember Knights looked right up my alley. Then I thought to myself, hey, haven't I seen this before? And I have. It's a game I previously put on a list to play with some friends around 2 months ago, and I just completely forgotten about it. The game has a very positive reception on Steam, so I'll probably pick this one up when it comes out of early access. Macabre is a multiplayer stealth extraction horror. Normally I'd come at this with a bit more cynicism, but after playing Outlast Trials, I know that multiplayer horror really actually can be viable. The trick with these games is trying to keep the game scary after the first couple of hours. Survival horror with Muppets. Cool gimmick, don't waste it. It looks like you're wasting it. At this point, I've seen like 10 Farming Town sims. Can we please stop? What? Okay, Bloomtown, you have my attention. Hey look, it's another game that features a moving base. This one's a mech and not a chicken though. Sand is PvPvE, so I wonder if that means the bases can fight each other. That would be pretty cool. The PC Gaming Show decided to end their showcase on a deep dive on the Dune MMO. And like the last deep dive on an MMO, this game looks way too early in development to be excited about anything shown. Overall, I give the PC Game Show a D. There were some interesting games in there, but god damn was the show outside the trailers an absolute fucking slog to get through. Like, I was expecting the usual Day 9 and Frankie cringe, but the whole AI bit that they were doing would have been fun for like 5-10 minutes, but they ran it into the fucking ground over a long 2 hours. Ubisoft. Let's see if they have anything to show. I'm not really expecting much from this one. How much money does Just Dance make for Ubisoft? Like, I'm sorry, what? Olympic esports? Just Dance? What am I watching? Why does the dialogue in every Ubisoft game sound wrong? There's just like way too much exposition going on. It's Far Cry Avatar Edition. I get it. James Cameron looks really pissed that he has to be here. Let's move on. Next up is X Defiant. This one actually looks pretty good. Open beta starts soon. I reckon I'll be giving this one a try, and I'll probably do a video later on my thoughts. Man, I just feel really bad for this guy. He's reading a decent script, but it's pretty clear he's not a presenter. Maybe I'm just empathizing with him a bit because I know if I was up there, I'd be doing the exact same thing. Like I have a script, pause for jokes, nobody laughs. The anime looks really cool though. They turned The Division into a very terrible looking mobile game. No thank you. They actually didn't show any Skull and Bones gameplay, just a bunch of dudes doing a sea shanty. So the crew is back, and this time it is looking to shamelessly capitalize on the Forza Horizon success. Some of it looks alright, some of it does not. Do you ever watch these gameplay segments where the person tries to play the game as cinematically as possible, but like in turn it just makes the game look really bad? Star Wars Outlaws is a prime example of that. I'm getting like Saints Row reboot vibes from this game. That's it? Oh, alright. Ubisoft. F. This showcase is like borderline unwatchable. Why did you bother? Honestly. Most of the games were in other showcases and they probably could have just booked longer slots for those. This felt so unnecessary. Alright, let's move on to Capcom. Capcom are doing a quick 30-minute showcase. Let's see what they got. Mega Man mobile gacha game. Nope. We got to see some Pragmata. This is looking pretty good and it's getting delayed. Why would they do this? Ghost Trick does not look interesting in the slightest. They're releasing an Ace Attorney game collection. These are usually pretty alright. Exo Primal looks kind of okay. And of course there's a season pass. And oh, that's it. Short and bitter, I guess. This is another F. Did I wake up on the wrong side of bed today? Capcom, like Ubisoft beforehand, they didn't have enough to show to warrant its own showcase. Well, that's it. I was actually having a pretty good Summer Games Fest until those last two disasters. Some things to take away from the Game Fest as a whole. It seems like there's a lot of multiplayer live service games coming. And you just know that each one of these is going to come with its own battle pass. I know it's a bit of a doomsaying thing to say, but live service games, they just leave a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't think every one of these ones is going to succeed. Let's take this 60-person kart racer that we saw before. Like, what happens if there aren't 60 people online to play the game? The gimmick is gone, and it will probably disappear into the ether. That's not to say it will fail, but it's just something that sticks into your mind. A lot of these games die, it's just a sad fact. On the whole though, the Summer Games Fest is, I wouldn't say it's better than E3, but having all the conferences be pre-recorded definitely makes the showcases more tolerable, and they're so much better paced and easier to watch than the live ones. So here's how the conferences all stack up against each other. Getting the gold medal, Devolver Digital, they're showing they still have the fingers on the pulse of what's going on in the gaming industry, and they managed to throw out some really good quality trailers while they're at it. Microsoft takes silver, showing they've got some interesting games in the pipeworks. It's a solid showcase. And that leaves Sony and Future Games Fest taking joint bronze. I'd say Sony probably had the better show overall, but I was liking the trailers from Future Games Fest much more. So I think that leaves them about even. Moving on, here are some of my favourite games from the entire Games Fest. This is what I would call my best in show. First up, Hyper Light Breaker from Heart Machine. I've absolutely loved the last two games in the studio, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Come on, bring it out soon, please, please, please. Next up, Spider-Man 2. I think everyone's hyped for this one. I won't be playing this one till it hits PC in about a year or two, but that's alright. Everyone with a PS5, just go have fun with it. It looks like a blast. We've got 33 Immortals. This is a game that piqued my interest from the Xbox Showcase. Like I said, it's kind of been done before. This time I feel like it's gonna work. What can I say? Watching random people die around me in huge raid environments is something that just never gets old to me. I love it every time. Mortal Kombat 1 also looks pretty fantastic. During most of these extended looks at games, I found myself liking games less the more they went on. Mortal Kombat was the exact opposite. The new engine looks great, and even though I'm not a fighting game fan, I reckon I'll pick this one up. Resistor looks awesome. I was immediately sold on this one. What can I say? Leica, motorbike, gun, coyote, backflips, sign me up. Botti Biteland looks great. I'm more than excited to get my hands on this one. If it's half as good as Hat in Time, I reckon I'm going to enjoy it. And we have Wizard with a Gun. I actually tried the demo for this one, and it was pretty good. I'm looking forward to getting some friends together to play this one. It feels like there's a drought in co-op games at the moment. Now that isn't all. Here's a list of all the other games. While I don't think they were my favourite, I still definitely think that they're worth checking out. And here's a list of things that interested me, but they need some more time before checking it out. Either some gameplay trailers or maybe an open beta or some kind before I make my final decision. And lastly, we have the steer clears. These are the worst of the worst. I do not want to play these games, and I don't think anyone else should either. Alright, and that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope I at least saved you a few hours of digging through these showcases yourself. Let me know what your favourite thing from the Summer Games Fest was. Do you agree with me? If not, tell me why. In the future, I'll probably be playing some of the betas or demos announced from the Games Fest and giving my thoughts on them, so I'll see you all soon.